If the first chapter of the kitchen story was written in smoke and fire, the second was written in metal and motion. The world was changing. Industries were booming, cities were rising, and for the first time, people had more than survival on their minds. They had ambition, convenience, and creativity. The kitchen followed suit. It evolved from a place of necessity to a place of expression. By the late 19th century, the sound of progress was everywhere. Steam trains roared, factories hummed, and inside homes, the quiet hiss of gas replaced the crackle of wood. The gas stove was revolutionary. It gave cooks control, real, responsive control over heat. No more guessing where the hottest coals were. No more ash in the stew, just a steady blue flame that obeyed a simple twist of the wrist. It changed not just how food was cooked, but how people thought about cooking itself. The stove soon met its lifelong partner, the oven. Together, they transformed baking from a communal event into a daily habit. Bread, once baked in shared village ovens, became a personal ritual. Families filled their homes with the smell of fresh loaves, golden pies, and slow-roasted meats. The oven became a symbol of comfort, something steady and dependable, a quiet reminder that warmth could be created at will. Meanwhile, metalwork was reaching new heights. Iron, copper, and later stainless steel began to replace clay and stone. These materials didn't just endure heat, they conducted it with precision. The invention of the cast iron skillet was a quiet miracle. It could sear, bake, and fry, moving effortlessly from stovetop to oven. It was indestructible, reliable, and ageless. Every mark on its surface told a story. Breakfast shared, dinner celebrated, and lessons learned. Even now, a well-seasoned cast iron pan carries the ghost of every meal that came before it. And then came the rise of stainless steel, a name that promised exactly what it delivered. It resisted rust, cleaned easily, and reflected light like a badge of modernity. Stainless steel was the future, clean, industrial, and sleek. Suddenly, the kitchen wasn't just a workspace, it was a statement. Bright, organized, and efficient. It represented progress and people embraced it. But metal alone couldn't define this era. Wood still had its charm, cutting boards, spoons, rolling pins. These kept the kitchen human. A wooden spoon didn't just stir, it connected the cook to the dish. Its handle warmed in the hand, its edges softened over time, and its scent, especially after years of use, was the quiet memory of 1,000 meals. To this day, a well-used wooden spoon can outlast even the most expensive gadget. The 20th century brought an orchestra of new sounds to the kitchen, the buzz of electricity, the hum of motors, the click of switches. The toaster made its debut, not as a luxury, but as a symbol of speed. What once required open fire and patience could now be done in 2 minutes. Toast wasn't just breakfast, it was proof that technology could simplify life. The refrigerator soon followed, and it changed everything. Before refrigeration, meals were a race against time. Food spoiled quickly, flavors faded, and leftovers were rare. The fridge gave families freedom, the freedom to plan, to store, to experiment. For the first time, the kitchen had memory. It could hold on to yesterday while preparing for tomorrow. Inside that cold, humming box was a promise. Freshness preserved, waste reduced, and opportunity expanded. As more electric appliances arrived, the kitchen grew noisier, but also livelier. The blender was one of the first true multitaskers. It could chop, whip, puree, and crush. It gave cooks new textures, new possibilities. Smoothies, soups, sauces, all became smoother, faster, easier. It was as if the blender had taken the raw energy of the modern world and bottled it into culinary form. When it roared to life, it wasn't just blending ingredients, it was blending eras, the slow patience of the past with the rapid rhythm of the present. The food processor took that energy a step further. With interchangeable blades and endless attachments, it turned the tedious into the effortless. Chopping onions, shredding cheese, kneading dough. Tasks that once demanded time and tears now took seconds. It was the kitchen's quiet revolution, invisible labor replaced by engineering, and then came the electric mixer. Watching a stand mixer in motion was hypnotic. The steady spin of the whisk, the rhythmic rotation of the bowl. It was mechanical grace. It made baking accessible to everyone, not just those with strong arms or endless patience. Suddenly, bread, cakes, and pastries were achievable, even on a weekday evening. The stand mixer didn't just save time, it built confidence. It reminded people that precision and pleasure could coexist. By mid-century, kitchens were transforming into stages of modern life. Advertising and design caught on, appliances gleamed in pastel colors, counters were streamlined, cabinets hid clutter. The kitchen was no longer just a place to cook. It was the heart of the home, a stage for family, innovation, and style. The post-war era celebrated the kitchen as a symbol of progress and domestic pride. It was where practicality met aspiration. Yet even in this age of innovation, the simple tools held their ground. The whisk still mattered. The knife still reigned supreme. The spatula still performed its quiet ballet between bowl and pan. These tools endured because they connected people to the act of cooking itself. Pressing a button could blend ingredients, but only a hand could feel when a dough was right. Only a cook could smell when onions were perfectly caramelized. The balance between machine and maker became the new artistry. Cultural exchange deepened this artistry even more. Global trade, travel, and immigration brought flavors, techniques, and tools from every corner of the world. The wok, once regional, became universal. The tagine introduced slow, fragrant cooking to Western tables. The mortar and pestle, long dismissed as outdated, found its way back into kitchens for those who missed the authenticity of texture. The kitchen became a map. Each tool, each flavor, a pin marking human connection across continents. In Japan, the knife remained sacred. Sharpening was meditation, slicing was ceremony. In Italy, the pasta roller was more than a device. It was a bridge between generations. In India, the tawa and pressure cooker defined rhythm and efficiency. In Mexico, the mokajille grounded tradition in stone. Each culture carried its culinary soul in its tools, and when these tools crossed oceans, they brought stories with them. The evolution of cookware mirrored the evolution of culture. Aluminum rose as the metal of choice for its lightness. Non-stick coatings appeared, promising convenience. Suddenly, eggs slid, pancakes flipped, and cleanup was easy. But this ease came with a subtle shift. People began to see cooking less as labor and more as leisure. The modern kitchen was a playground for creativity. By the 1980s and 90s, the kitchen became digital. Microwaves turned minutes into seconds. Coffee machines learned timing. Toasters got smarter. Every appliance competed to save time, but time saved isn't always time enjoyed. Many cooks began to miss the rhythm, the sound of a simmer, the patience of slow roasting. And so began a quiet counter-revolution, the rediscovery of manual tools, of craftsmanship, of slowing down. Handmade knives returned to vogue. Cast iron pans found new owners who seasoned them like family treasures. Wooden boards replaced plastic ones in the name of warmth. Even sourdough made a comeback, not because people lacked bread, but because they craved process. In an age of automation, the kitchen reminded humanity of what mattered most: the touch, the taste, the time spent. The evolution of the kitchen isn't just a story of invention, it's a story of balance. Every tool created to make life easier also invites reflection on what we lose when ease replaces effort. The dishwasher gives time back, but removes the intimacy of washing dishes side by side. The microwave delivers speed, but takes away the slow anticipation of aroma filling the room. And yet both have their place, because every kitchen, like every cook, finds its own rhythm. By the turn of the century, innovation accelerated again. Induction stoves offered invisible heat, precision at the touch of a finger. Air fryers combined convection and convenience, promising crispiness without guilt. Instant pots became symbols of modern multitasking, pressure cooking, slow cooking, steaming, sautéing, all in one machine. Kitchens became laboratories once again, not unlike those early fire circles where invention met necessity. But even amid all the beeps and screens, the human element remained the heartbeat. The kitchen was never about technology. It was about transformation, the transformation of ingredients into nourishment, of effort into pride, of solitude into sharing. Every whisk, every chop, every simmer still required one thing no machine could replace: intention. The modern kitchen, for all its elegance and electricity, still whispers the same message as the first hearths did. Care is a form of creation, and no matter how far we evolve, the essence of cooking remains deeply human. So, as we leave behind the clatter of mixers and the gleam of steel, we move toward what lies ahead, the age of intelligence, sustainability, and soul. Because the next chapter of this story isn't just about smarter tools, it's about smarter choices. The kitchen of the future won't just serve us, it will listen, adapt, and learn with us. But before we open that door, let's remember what we've gained and what we've nearly forgotten along the way.